What's up, everybody? It's Peyton Aldridge bringing you the Halftime Show. New podcast starting up. We're kind of a bounce off of a couple other podcasts. We have the 13 and 34 podcast, really known in the Mississippi area, one of the best Mississippi sports podcasts out there. We run a couple sites. We just started the Signing Day recruiting website. Also, website, check us out on Twitter at SD_recruiting.com. For any of your college football recruiting needs, we're going to offer everything all the others offer, but we'll be free. We'll be up to date. First one to report anything. Definitely going to be an awesome site. Also, check out the Grueling Network on Twitter. Awesome site for anything you want sports related. I'm talking about football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, tennis, boxing, UFC, ping pong. I'm sure there's a report on there for ping pong. Anything baseball related, check the Grueling Network out on Twitter. Also, this show is sponsored by My Name is Sean Graphics. You need a good graphics guy, definitely check out My Name is Sean Graphics. My Name is Sean Designs. Best graphics guy in the business to me. He designed our Twitter background. Absolutely awesome graphics guy. You can't say enough about him. We're doing a big giveaway too. We have a post on the SDR page, the SD_recruiting Twitter. You retweet that. It's a pinned post. You retweet it. You get entered to win tickets to the national championship game next year. 2 tickets to the college football national championship game. You'll get to hang out with us, the SDR crew, the podcast crew. I'm sure we'll get some other guys in. We're also partnered up with IMV Gaming. You want college football back? Well, they're bringing it back. The college football video game's coming back with IMV Gaming. It's going to be called Gridiron Champions. Our site, Signing Day Recruiting, will be one of the recruiting companies used on their legacy mode, which is similar to the dynasty mode of the past. Everybody wants college football back. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't want a college football video game back. I played them growing up. I would play it right now if I could. They're bringing it back, making it bigger and better than ever. Their hashtag is Bring Back Greatness, and that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what you can help them do. You can donate to help them. They have a funding goal they're looking to hit. They're almost there. They're close. Help them get there. You can, get some stuff in the game. They offer a bunch of nice stuff for different packages if you help support them. So check them out at imvgaming.com. You can follow the podcast page at recruiting_show. Was going to be a recruiting show, but we're turning it into all around sports. We, like every man, we love sports. So this is going to be a man show. For the manly man, as I like to say. We're going to talk a little football, a little basketball, a little baseball, a little boxing. We'll even talk about ping pong. I'll bring some ping pong in one day. Today, though, we're going to focus around football. We're going to focus around the games from this past weekend. I had 2 big games. Whether you turn the TV on or not, I'm sure you knew there were some big games played this weekend. We had the Patriots and the Jaguars. Not going to say I'm happy about that game. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of either team. I have pulled for the Jaguars a little. I'm in Alabama. We don't really have a set team that's close to us. Atlanta's the closest. Never really been a big Atlanta fan. I'm a huge Dak Prescott guy, so been keeping up with the Cowboys the past 2 years. Disappointing season this year for them. I think they'll rebound next year, besides the point. But Jacksonville, 8-hour drive, not real close, but it's the South. So, you got to pull for a little bit, especially when they're playing the Patriots. I've always said this world is divided between 2 different people, Patriots fans and people who hate the Patriots. And I definitely fall under those people who hate the Patriots. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like Alabama in college football. Simply put, they win too much. There's not much more you can say about that. They win too much. I want to see someone else in the Super Bowl. I don't care if you give me the Browns and who's on the other side of that? If you give me the Browns and the 49ers, I don't care who you put in there. Give me somebody else besides the Patriots. Okay? So I was a huge Jaguars fan. I legit got in the game. You would have thought I had been a Jaguars fan my whole life. I know every player on that team by heart now. I was so into it. The Jaguars came out firing. I will give, Blake Bortles, he deserves a true pat on the back. That dude went toe to toe with one of the NFL greats. I'm not going to short the Patriots. They're in my lifetime, I'm 25. In my lifetime, they're absolutely the greatest football team all around to step out there as far as a dynasty, just year in, year out. The Patriots are going to the playoffs. The Patriots are probably going to the conference championship. The Patriots are probably going to the Super Bowl. It's just, you just know it's going to happen. I think they could have an 8-8 season. Brady's going to lead them to the Super Bowl. I was always a Peyton Manning fan growing up. Naturally, that's probably one of the reasons I hated Tom Brady, because the Colts and the Patriots rivalry. But as hard as it is for me to say it, Brady's the best. Brady is one of the best to ever step on the field. I don't know if it's the system he's in. A lot of people say you can stick a many variety of quarterbacks in that system, that Bill Belichick system, and they're going to do what he does. I think, yes, they could statistically put up numbers. I think they could run the team, but you're not going to find a player with Brady's poise, his determination. It don't matter what the score is. He's going to come into that second half, to that fourth quarter, and he is going to do everything possible to win that game. Just look at the Super Bowl from last year. The Falcons had it wrapped. I quit watching. I have, in the last 12 years of my life, I have watched the Super Bowl from start to finish. Even when the Saints were just pretty much kicking the rear ends of the Colts years back, I watched every single second of it, whether it's for the commercials, it's the Super Bowl, one of the biggest games of the year. I actually turned that game off at half last year, and the Patriots-Falcons game, stopped watching it, and I said, this is a blowout. I just wasn't into it. Hey, the Patriots are getting whooped. I can't be happier. The Falcons are winning, cool. Like I said, closest team to me. I guess I can say yay for that. I look up and they're not winning anymore. What happened? I went to sleep. I wake up. Patriots are Super Bowl champions. I'm looking at my phone like, well, that's a good typo. No, the Patriots won. So Brady is just, just enough can't be said about Brady. And back to my original point, for Blake Bortles to go toe to toe with arguably the best quarterback of all time in the National Football League, that says a lot for him. Sure, I'm going to say that second half he wasn't as explosive as that first half, but he was 23 for 36. He had 293 yards with a touchdown. He played great. It's simply put, he statistically outperformed Brady. Now, that second half, Brady, of course, just dominated the fourth quarter. The last 10 minutes of the game, Brady dominates. The Patriots defense dominates. I think a lot of credit, and I shouldn't say a lot, I should say most of the credit should go to Bill Belichick. While I do think Brady is the number one quarterback, I think you can put a lot of quarterbacks there and they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Now, if they're faced, down 20-3, whatever, 27, 2010, whatever, will they be able to come back? I don't know. I think that's Brady. But getting them there, getting them prepared, those second half adjustments, that's Bill Belichick. I'm going to say one of the best coaches of all time with him, arguably. It don't matter who's in his team. You look at these Super Bowl Patriots team, and he just felt like it's a different team every year, except Brady. Brady's always there. It's Brady and Belichick. Brady, Belichick. Those two, it's a dream. It's a dynasty. That Jags game, gosh, 14-10 at half. You felt good there in the first quarter. You felt good as 14-3. You said, hey, Jags score one more time right here. This game's over. They don't score. And the Patriots come marching down the field, and what is under 3-4 minutes, and they score a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 14-10. You're like, well, let's see. Jags come out, get that little field goal. Okay. All of a sudden, here come the Patriots. Boom, boom. Everything Brady throws gets caught. Probably shouldn't say this on a podcast, but those refs helped the Patriots. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won without the help, but there was a ton of missed calls, a ton of calls going the Patriots' way. I love the game of football, but it was upsetting. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the Cowboys in the Patriots position and those penalties are being missed and the calls are going the other way. It's upsetting as a football fan. You want the game to be even. You don't want. I understand a missed call here and there, a couple of missed calls a game, both sides, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. But it was on the point of being ridiculous. Patriots still win either way. Unfortunately, I think I'd love to blame it on the refs. I just think the Patriots are too much. And, honestly, that's just how the cookie crumbles, as they say. So, next game, the Vikings and Eagles. I thought the Vikings I thought it was going to be the Vikings just doing the butt kicking. They come out, first drive, you couldn't stop them. It was just, each play was perfect. So, a good initial game plan by the Vikings. But then, Eagles, not really doing anything on offense. All of a sudden, they get that big pick six. So, this game's tied. Nick Foles didn't look back. Nick Foles did not look back. And when I tell you, so to the Patriots side of you could probably put any quarterback in there and they do good, but they won't do that good as Brady has. I think Wentz is a good quarterback. Again, I've been pulling for the Cowboys, and I'm a Dak Prescott fan. So Carson Wentz, that's the guy. Oh, Dak Prescott's not as good as Carson Wentz, and I'm not saying that's not true. Carson Wentz is a great quarterback, but this year, I think you can put anybody in that, and to a certain extent, I think you put anybody in that offense, and they still finished 13-3. Nick Foles, he had that wonderful year. I think it was 2015. I could be wrong. They're not looking at it in front of me. Where he played as well as anybody in the NFL. But over the seasons, he's been a backup quarterback. Point blank, maybe top 25 quarterback. But, he's come out. He's just done great. Last night, he was 26 for 33, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was unstoppable. The plays he was making, the throws he was making. There was the one play where he was in the pocket. He just stood there in the pocket. He just stood there. He got wrapped up. He got out of it, stood there in the pocket, and then launched the ball 50 yards. Wide open. I think it was Torrey Smith for the touchdown. And then just the throws he was making was amazing. And that second quarter, they went up 24-7. You're like, whoa. You're just sitting there in awe, like, whoa. I did not expect that to happen. So, not much to say about that game, but the Eagles dominated. I thought I'd be sitting here saying not much to say about that game, but the Vikings dominated, but I'm completely wrong. And I guess it's a good thing I didn't bet on that game. I did make a bet on the Patriots-Jags game. I bet against the spread. I think when I locked it in, it was 9.5, so the Jags actually covered. But I wasn't even thinking about the Eagles. I think the Eagles were 3-point underdogs, I believe. And I thought that was stretching, and I thought this would be a 14, 20-point game Vikings way. Instead, it's a 31-point game. Eagles way. Awesome performance by the Eagles. That defense is stunning. They are absolutely stunning. And that offensive line performed great, too. They just couldn't get much pressure. And they did get some pressure to Foles, but he was comfortable. That dude was so composed, so comfortable. It was frankly amazing. And hats off to Nick Foles, hats off to Blake Bortles, and unfortunately, hats off to Tom Brady. 3 quarterbacks played great. two of them are going to the Super Bowl, they deserve it. And that brings us to our next point. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Not going to be played this week at the Pro Bowl this week. I'm not a huge fan of that scheduling. I used to enjoy watching the Super Bowl and then getting to see the Pro Bowl, after it, because you got some of those guys from the Super Bowl that played. Super Bowl winner, the two teams from the Super Bowl, two of the best teams. Naturally, they probably have a lot of players that would play in the Pro Bowl. They don't get to do that now. I do like having the 2-week break, though, because you're talking about non-stop games for these teams. Now they're coming to the biggest game of the year. The 2-week break is needed. I would definitely say that. Looking at the lines right now, it looks like Patriots are opening as 5-point favorites. That's a tough game. In my mind, I feel like the Eagles defense can do enough to get to Tom Brady. That first half, he played a little shook up. I don't know the status of Gronk. He had the concussion. I would say he's going to play. Especially since they got the 2 weeks. I would say he was going to play. But, excuse me, 5-point, ooh. Like I said, I feel like the Eagles defense can do enough to possibly shut down Brady. I feel like Nick Foles, if he plays anything like he played against the Vikings, they can put up points. The Jags were controlling the Patriots defense that first half, and it's a very, very small portion of the second half. So I want to say that the Eagles could possibly win, but I think that this is the same Patriots that you see every year. Unfortunately, I think they'll win. I think they'll probably cover the spread. 5 points. Pretty sure they're going to cover the spread. I honestly feel like they will. So I'm going to say this is an early guess. Next week I'll have, because I want to see if Gronk's playing. I want to say who's out for the Eagles, who's out for the Patriots. Kind of see. I like listening to the media interviews. Just kind of seeing where their head's at. I'm going to say 31-21 Patriots. They cover 10 point. They win by 10 points. We'll see, though. That's a game that I really feel, on paper initially, last night, I kind of felt like the spread was going to be pretty far. Because if you look at it, backup quarterback for the Eagles, you feel it's probably going to be a blowout. But then you have that gut feeling. You kind of look at how good they performed against the Vikings. And I think that 5-point spread is pretty dead on. And these guys are good at what they do. They're usually always dead on. And so not a bad spread there. I would definitely take that. Take that as the Patriots win, and I think they'll clear the 5. But like I said, we're gonna see next week. Any injuries, and that'll change the spread too. Any injuries come out, anything comes out, Brady's hand, that was a big ordeal. You didn't look like he was bothering him. I think it was a show. Who knows if there was even anything wrong with it? But it the media got wound up about it. When you had people talking about Brian Hoyer may start for the Patriots, that was a ploy for that. I feel. Could be wrong. Who knows? I'm not a Patriots guy. I don't know nothing about them. No, they have a good team, have a good quarterback. Probably will till Bill Belichick or Tom Brady decides to leave. I hope that's any day now. I doubt it. I think it's probably 3 or 4 more years. But we will see. Again, this is kind of a short podcast, kind of just introducing the show. So we're going to do this every week. It'll air either Mondays or Tuesdays, usually in the morning. We might put it in the evenings. So tune in every Monday, every Tuesday. It'll be on the Grueling Networks channel. You'll be able to catch it on iTunes as well. We'll have it on the SDR page, the signing day recruiting page. We'll have it on a couple other pages. So it'll be all over. You'll be able to catch it. Again, y'all follow us at SD_recruiting. Follow us. Let's see. Let's go ahead and knock everyone out. Follow us at the recruiting_show. That's the podcast, the Halftime Show podcast page. You can follow. So we got one of our main sponsors, our graphics guys. Like I said earlier on the show, awesome graphics guy. Literally can't say enough about his work. He designed our podcast logo and everything. Awesome work. My name is Sean Graphics. You can follow him at MNIS_creative on Twitter. And the Grueling Truth. I've been saying the Grueling Network. The Grueling Truth at Grueling Truth on Twitter. You can also catch their website, thegruelingtruth.net. Again, anything you want sports, definitely the Grueling Truth. That's where the podcast will be. That'll be one of the main places to catch the podcast. Airing this week on Tuesday morning. Probably going to be every Tuesday. It'll be Monday or Tuesday, kind of depend on the sports weekend. You know, we want to cover everything sports. A lot of stuff happens on the weekend, so Sunday night, Monday recording, you know, you want to get everything in. So I'm going to say every Tuesday night, every Tuesday morning will be a good day for the recording. But thanks for listening to the Halftime Show with Peyton Aldridge. Y'all have a wonderful day, and go watch some sports.